Hi. Hey. Good evening, good evening. It is 6:59. I am on time once again. Y'all know how excited I am when I'm on time. Because ask anybody that knows me. On time is not always, doesn't always happen. Hey, Kendrick. Hey. I hope you guys had a great day. Hey, sis. I hope you guys had a great day. I ended up staying home today. Needed a mental health day. I needed a mental health day. Lots and lots going on. So I decided to stay home and take care of me today. Much needed. Thank you, sis. You know what runs in the family. All right. So, good evening. I see there are 4 people that have joined. I can't really see everybody, but if you would just shout out, say hello, say something when you come on so I can know who's here, because the numbers come up, but I don't necessarily see the names. And let me try to get this going. So, y'all, I've been told, and it's been recommended to me, that I go to a different platform. Hey, Rachel, that I go to a different platform for camper conversations. And I want to make sure I'm here as well, but I also want to consider that. I'm considering starting a YouTube channel for camper conversations. I am on here and it's not allowed. It's not letting me see it. So I'm considering doing a YouTube channel to take this to YouTube as well, because our platform, even though they're over 100K, they're over 1K members here. It just reaches a little further on YouTube. So let me get started. Hey, whoever's here, I see the count, but I don't see the names. As y'all know, I go to my phone and I go to my laptop because I can't always see what's going on here on this feed. I don't know why. I haven't figured all that out just yet. So if I stay on the feed along with you all, so I'm on the back phone. If I stay on the feed with you all, I can kind of see. So Kendrick, Chris, and it says 4 others are watching with you. Okay. All right. So, hey, guys, good evening. So let me get started because I am on time. And this subject tonight is a bit heavy. It's a bit weighty. So let's go. So first, I always like to say welcome to Real Life Relationship Growth page. I am so glad that you are here. This page was started last year sometime. It had a different platform to it, but God saw fit. Hey, Mike. God saw fit that it transitioned into what it is now. Okay, so it's called Camper Conversations on Friday because I bought a camper. I bought a camper and I started out doing the camper conversations, these talks in the camper when it was summertime, when it was more light outside, and it wasn't too hot or whatever because the camper was not hooked up to power, no shore power. So anyway, I want to continue to call it Camper Conversations. I don't want to change that name because we will go back and forth there as the seasons change up. But I don't want to switch it up. We're going to just call it what it is because what we do here is going to remain the same. So let's get started. I am not a relationship expert. I do not profess to be one. Never said I was one. All I am is a Black woman in this world, living this life and doing the damn thing and enjoying myself through the process with my ups and with my downs. Someone else here has that same background, backstory, whether you're a male or female. So this page is for singles, dating, courting, divorced, married adults. This is what this group is for. If you fit any of those categories, this page is for you. On here, we talk about all types of subjects, all types of things related to relationships. It's called Real Life Relationship Growth. Be back after I make a few calls. All right, Mike. This page is for relationship growth. Now, if you fall into any of those categories that I said, that I just mentioned, you at some point have had some interaction with another adult in some form under those guidelines, under those things. Either you're single and you out here dating and enjoying yourself. You haven't found that person yet. You haven't committed to marriage or someone else. Or you're dating someone and you're trying to get to that point to see where you want to go with this person, if they're that person. Or you decided, because you're courting now, because courting is what you do when you're preparing for marriage. Or you're married and you found that number one boo and you found that person that completes you. Or you're divorced and you've been in situations where you realize the marriage wasn't for you. Or he realized or she realized the marriage wasn't for them. However, right? So I have fallen under each and every one of those categories. So again, I'm not a relationship expert. I just go from life experience. And the thing about it is there's a lot of transparency here. Hey, Sharon, there's a lot of transparency here because you yourself, I can almost guarantee someone on here has gone through the same type of situation I have, someone else has, and we are here to help each other grow, real life, relationship growth, to help each other grow, to help each other through the tough times, to help each other, to applaud each other and big each other up through the good times. That's what we're here for. There's no male bashing. There's no female bashing. Oh, we have jokes on here. We have jokes on here. I am very open sexually, so the jokes that you guys see and get, now mind you, all of them are not for me. People do send things to me and people suggest things and I do post. And I want to open up and let you guys know you all are free to post. Of course, I do review things before they go on the page because sometimes they may not be appropriate as far as bashing and things like that. There may be something that's said that's just a little too much, and I don't want to insult anybody. Can't please everybody, true enough, but there are some things that are just cut and dry that don't need to go out on this page because we all about love. So we're going to have some jokes. We're going to have some serious topics. I want to, as always, say thank you to the brothers. Men don't usually get in and engage a lot when it comes to relationship topics and relationship groups and things like that. But on this page, y'all brothers be doing it. Either y'all posting, y'all liking stuff, y'all loving stuff, y'all laughing at stuff, or y'all sending me things. And I appreciate it. Ladies, I love y'all. But when the fellas step in, I really feel like it's important to acknowledge them. Because as we know, they don't always open up much with communication. Men tend to have a harder time communicating and expressing their feelings and emotions than we do. Women tend to be more emotional. All right, so let's get started. So our topic this evening, as usual, I take topics from things that have been posted, things people send me, things we've discussed through the week, or at some point on this page. But today I was struggling. I was struggling about what to post on the page, what to talk about tonight with you guys. And as always, I bounced off of my big sister and we had a conversation and she was like, you know, sometimes we got to get real. We're always trying to get real here. But sometimes we have to hit those hard topics, those topics that everyone deals with, but nobody's talking about, right? So the subject matter for tonight is loss. Loss, L-O-S-S, loss. There's no meaning to it. There's no description of it, nothing. It's loss. And I'm going to tell you why we came to loss. And a lot of people probably looked at it and like, loss? Okay, what kind of loss is there? I also talked to another friend of mine, and he keeps me laughing. He cracks me up all the time. If he pops up, I'm going to shout him out. He said he's going to try to get on, but he may not. But I had a conversation with him, and he gave me another perspective on loss. And it was all the kind of things that I was thinking about, but I didn't know how to really bring it together. So he and my sister kind of helped me. So we're going to come with loss. We're coming with loss from possibly 3 different perspectives. Now, he said to me, why don't you do this in 3 parts? Because that's big. Loss is big. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea. I was thinking about that. So we're going to see how this flows and where this goes, right? So the first thing I'm going to talk about, and y'all please chime in, just jump in wherever you can, wherever you have a thought. Remember, the video is going to be posted. It will be pinned to the top of the page. So if you come in late, you can always go back and watch. If you see this later, like when I'm done, and you want to make comments, please do, because they'll still be there. It'll still be flowing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, came to my mind with loss, was loss of self. Loss of self. Y'all know I am very, very big, and I'm an advocate of counseling. Very big on counseling. And sometimes we get into relationships, and we deal with people that we kind of really have no business dealing with and have no business trying to have relationships with. And we end up having relationships, and we get in relationships with these people. And in those relationships, we try to look at how we can please the other person. We try to look at how we can keep the other person, especially if it's someone that we were watching and we had an interest in, and we really kind of worked hard to kind of get them to notice us, or whatever. Male, female, doesn't matter. And sometimes we get in these relationships and we start learning that the other person is not fully there for us. And when you lose yourself to someone else, when you lose yourself in the mix of trying to please someone, trying to be with someone, trying to understand someone that is not trying to understand you, we tend to lose ourselves. We come into the point of losing ourselves. We lose our identity. We lose the things that we like to do to try to please them. We lose self-esteem. We lose sometimes jobs. We sometimes lose other friends. We lose family. Loss. We lose ourselves because of someone else. Again, I am a big advocate for counseling. If you find yourself in a place where you can't remember who you are, and you don't realize, and you're starting to realize that there's something wrong, there's something that's not quite right with this, not quite right with me. I'm not feeling the way I used to. I'm not doing the things that I used to like to do. My interests have changed. My family, I don't go around them or whatever. Then you need to take a step back and see if the person that you're with, the person that you're dealing with, are they being productive in your life to growth, or are they making you lose yourself? And when we lose ourselves, it's almost like anything goes. And sometimes there's a point of wanting to be accepted by others because there's low self-esteem, or we feel like, you know what, we weren't always the one that got the guy or got the girl. So when we do, we make all these drastic changes to try to please them and try to hold on to somebody. If you make changes in yourself because you realize that you want to be better, that's a plus. If you make changes in yourself because you're chasing after someone else, that is not good. That is not good. You're trying to please that person. You're trying to be there for them. You're trying to make adjustments in life. I don't want to be with someone who changes for me. Now, understand what that means. Understand what that means. If I represent something that someone sees and they realize it's a better way, or I've encouraged them in some type of way and they want to make a change, Wonderful. That is totally different. But I don't want someone coming into my life and not agree with the things I not have the moral fortitude that I have and the different thoughts that I have, and all of a sudden they're doing what I'm doing, and they want to be where I am, and they want to hang out who I want to hang out with, knowing that that's not them. It's a difference when people make changes. When people make, hey, Miss Stewart, it's a difference when people make changes because they realize there's something better for them. And they want to make changes because they realize who I am is not positive, it's not good, it's not getting me anywhere, and it's not pleasing the other person. There's nothing wrong with changing for the person that you love, but you have to make those changes because it's in you and not just for them. Because let me tell you what will happen. If you make those changes for the other person, you're putting on a facade. It's not true, and it will end. It will die. Again, y'all know I'm very transparent, right? I don't mind sharing. That is what happened in my last relationship. He put on a facade. He did things that was not him. He did things and said things to try to please me in ways where he began to feel unhappy and unsatisfied, because I've had some ways about myself, that positive things that have been in place from the time he met me, from the years ago that he met me. That was one of the things he used to say that he loved so much, that I was the same person 7 years ago that I was today. But when you make changes like that, it's not true. It doesn't last. You have to make changes and adjustments out of love for the other person. Not because, okay, this is going to get what I want and that's going to get what I want, because it doesn't last. So when you lose yourself, when loss comes in your life and you lose yourself and you don't understand who you are anymore and you're not happy with who you are, when you lose yourself for someone else, it's never going to come out good. Ms. Stewart said, amen, they have to want it for themselves. Yes, these changes have to be, hey, Jalecia, they have to come in for themselves, not for you, not to try to please you and appease you, but to make the relationship better. So that was a small part of loss that we talked about, and the thought that kind of came to my mind, and that was kind of shared with me that could be a good point. But the loss that's really, really hitting home with me. So lately, we all know, and we're seeing in the news, through social media, and maybe through personal situations and relationships, that we're losing people to suicide. We're losing people because they're in a position in life where they're just not happy. And they're in a position in life where they don't know a way out. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to get help. And it's a struggle. And it's a struggle for them. So I took a mental health day. I was actually supposed to be in South Carolina with family today. We had a loss in the family. And I realized, y'all, that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it today. I couldn't do it because I felt mentally and physically drained. I felt like I couldn't go no more. I didn't want to get in the car and drive. I didn't want to have to go and then be there and then come back and just try to just recoup from that. I realized that in the process of trying to be there for others, this week I kind of lost me. This week. And when you're in a position, I ended up, and I don't know how this happened, y'all, but God knows what he's doing. So I'm the youngest of 4. And for whatever reason, we all have parts in life. We all have positions to play. And for whatever reason, I'm the one that kind of brings everybody together. I'm the one that kind of, if something happens and someone needs something, like if my aunt needed a cousin's phone number or one of my siblings' phone numbers, they'll call me. Because I just kind of keep connected. I keep everybody kind of connected. And at times, if you are not fortified, you cannot be a rock for someone else. Thank you, sis. Exactly. Hey, Alexis. Exactly. So, I tend to be the go-to. Now, mind you, I don't mind that at all. I love family. I love friends. I love when everybody comes to my house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I love having everybody together. I love that. I love family. I love the thought of it. I love the feel of it. I love the warmth of it. Although we don't always get along, and no family does, I just love that when we can come together. But this weekend, because I had been going the last 2 weekends, this weekend, I just needed a reboot for me. I talked to one of my closest friends last night, Shalonda, and we hadn't spoken in a little while. We text each other here and there, but we kind of fallen off with our communication. And in talking to Shalonda, she reminded me of so many things. And she reminded me of who I am. And losing sometimes, here's that loss again. Sometimes we lose who we are over positive things, right? So helping others, being there, being that person that everyone calls, being the one that goes when something happens or whatever. I don't mind doing that. But I realized again, I was losing me this week. I love what I do. Hey, Tasha. I love what I do. I love going in the daycare, sending the kids, hey, Miss Donna. And I love that my staff, is there, and I appreciate them. I love that they need me. I love that they call when I'm not there, in certain aspects, because they train well. They can run that thing. Ms. Lay, I really, really appreciate you. All the ladies, I appreciate y'all. But sometimes I really want to just shut my phone off. Both of them. Yes, I have 2 phones. I want to turn them off. I want to turn them down. I want to turn them over. Whatever. Sometimes I want to do that. And today was a day that I just wanted to shut it all down because I lost me this week, y'all. So if you're a friend of mine, if you are a friend of mine on Facebook, from my personal page, there's been an announcement going out for the last 2 weeks. I will be turning 50 in March. And like I like to do, I like to go big. I like to do it big. So there's an invite on my page. And I apologize if we don't have a friendship, some type of relationship, you're not going to see the invite. Sorry. Maybe we'll get there one day. But it's on the page. My son, who's over in London, he did a whole commercial thing for me. It's like a movie premiere. My invitation goes out like a movie premiere. And I've invited, my friends and family to come celebrate my 50th birthday with me. And in doing that, I've been communicating with a lot of people all week. And again, I love being in that forum. I love doing that. I love talking to people. But sometimes, y'all, we have to take a moment to stop. We got to take a moment to stop and think about what we need to do that's crucial and important to us. Because if you work a job, and whether you love your job or not, if something happens to you, they're going to replace you on that job. The company is not going to stop because you're not there. The world is going to continue to go around and around and around. It's going to continue to do what it does. So if you don't take a moment to stop and check on self, because self is the person that you need to love ultimately beyond measure above anybody else. If you don't take care of self, you're going to lose yourself. You're going to lose your strength. You're going to start resenting the people that need you, that you've put yourself in a position for them to need you. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I love helping. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. I used to say that to my kids all the time. I love doing that. But when you don't take the time to know yourself, when you don't take the time to take care of yourself, the way you eat, what you drink, your exercise, how you do that, you lose yourself. Your health fades. Your physical fades. We have to take the time. So let me direct this to those that don't have that good feeling about themselves. Those who have lost themselves already. Those who can't find themselves. Those who don't know how to love themselves and who they are and understand. Because I always say, if you're no good, and like my sister was saying, you have to, if you're not fortified, you cannot be a rock for anyone else. That was great how she put that. You can't be a rock for anyone else. You can't help anyone else. So take the time to sit back and just take care of you. Do the things that you like to do. I'm a person who never really cared about what other people thought and what other people think. Of course, there are people in my life that I want to make sure that that I'm pleasing in certain aspects. I.e., 3 people off the jump. My son, my daughter, and my nephew. Although I don't always get it right as a parent, and I will never be perfect and get it totally right as a parent, it is crucial to me that I please them. And I please them in a way that I can be an example to them. That is how I mean as far as pleasing them. We've had our ups and we've had our downs. My husband, my ex-husband, and I went through a divorce right at a pivotal moment of both of their lives. My son was leaving, going to college. Can you imagine going off to college and your parents are divorcing? My daughter was going into her high school years. You know, the time where all of that stuff is so, so important. So those moments, those times. But I had to realize as well that I had to take care of me, and I had to be happy, and I had to worry about me. It is okay to be selfish. You know, we tell kids all the time, oh, share, don't be selfish. Damn that. There are times when you need to be selfish. You have to be selfish. You have to focus on you. And you have to work on what you need. Yep, see, I got to go here, y'all, because I missed some comments. Apple in the water. Sis, I missed your comment on apple in the water. I'm not sure what that meant. She said apple in the water. Hey, Ron. So when you focus on you, when you understand who you are and know. So I was talking about the people who don't feel that way. The people who feel like they don't want to do this anymore. They don't feel attractive. They don't feel loved. They don't feel desired. They don't feel those things. I made a decision about a year ago, well, before a year ago, but I got heavy into it last year. I made a decision to go to counseling. And it's something that I needed. It's something that I needed to do. I realized I needed to do it. I needed to go because I had lost myself and I was making some decisions that weren't really productive and really weren't the best for my life. I was adding people to my life that did not belong, right? So going to counseling helped me to see a lot of different things. Counseling will help you to see why you are the way you are. Counseling will help you to understand what things are because of you and what things are because of others. And in the whole grand scheme of it, regardless of what and who did what, I had to realize and believe and understand that I can't stay stuck in the place that I'm in just because some things had happened. It's not saying they never happen. It's not saying, I hate when people say get over it. You can say get over it if you choose to. If that's how you want to move, then you get. But I never tell someone get over it. I don't believe that. I believe we can get through things. We may never get over something, but we may learn tools to get through and not allow that thing to haunt us and keep us down and keep us beating ourselves up and teaching us not and showing us how not to love ourselves. So get over it. I took that out of my vocabulary. The only reason I'm saying it now because I'm making a point. But I believe it's selfish for people to tell other people to get over it, especially if it's something that you've never been through. Now, does it mean to pacify them and baby them in whatever it is? No, it doesn't mean that. It means be conducive to their growth. Y'all know I like that phrase. I like saying that. Be conducive to their growth by first trying to understand why they're the way they are. Second, not allowing them to just stay that way by being supportive of them. Third, not pushing them just because that's how you'll do it. That's how you would do it. That is not a way to be productive and helpful to someone just because you got over something or you don't deal with something or you deal with it in a certain way. We all have different ways and things that we've dealt with and we come from. So, counseling helped me to see that abuse that happened to me was not my fault. It is not my fault. It is not my problem. The problem is the person who did it. But what it taught me was to understand it wasn't my fault, to love myself regardless, either way that word goes, to love myself regardless, because it wasn't me that had the problem. It was the other person that had the problem. It also helped me to see that some of the ways that I had, the hardness that I had, I didn't have to be that way. So, when I was younger, I used to get all the time, why you look so mean? Why are you so mean? Like, Donna was the mean one. Donna was the one that fought. Donna was the one that cursed you out in a minute. Donna was the one I didn't care. I didn't care. And I learned that it was a defense mechanism. So as I got older and started dating and I didn't date a lot. I had friends. My girl last night reminded me, we talked about the old high school days, and she reminded me how when I was in high school, we were like juniors in high school, and we had some stories. She had me die, but we were juniors in high school, and I can remember going to parties, driving my boyfriend's cars. Now, my boyfriends were GIs. For y'all that know in the military, they were military men. Like, I've always dated people a little bit older than me. So we were making jokes about that, and she would say how we used to go into the parties and the high school guys would be acting a certain way, and we'd be like, all right, whatever, we out. Because we got a car to drive, and we would leave or whatever. But the way of looking at loving yourself and allowing that thing to build and not taking from anybody, hey Michelle, hey Quinn, and not just accepting the things that were done, I had to realize that I didn't have to be so hard. There's a time and a place that you have to be stern, and there's a time and a place where that soft side can come. But when things happen to you, when things are done to you, and you don't understand, and you haven't worked those things out, it makes you a certain way. And you lose who you are. You lose who you can be because you're holding on to anger and frustration and things like that. So counseling, y'all, get in some counseling. Understand and learn who you are. Begin to love yourself regardless and beyond what is said and what is done. And it's a process. Again, I don't do the get over thing. You don't get over it. You learn how to work through it. You learn how to live productive with it, and you don't allow it to keep you down. So loss of self is very, very important for you to learn how to love you, how to love yourself. Everyone is shaped different. And you know what? I always applaud women who, regardless of their size or their shape, walk with this confidence. Like, walk with this confidence. It's almost to a point of jealousy. It used to be almost to a point of jealousy. Like, you know, certain people look at certain people and they're like, that's not attractive, or that's not this and not that. And that's not even it. That's not even it. But when they walk with a sense of confidence, ladies, let me say this, and men, your daughters and your girls think different than your boys. They need nourishment that will help them grow and be confident in their self-esteem and their self-worth. Girls go through some tough stuff when you're going through puberty, when you're developing or you're not developing. Like, when we teach our girls to love themselves from little itty bitties, we build a confidence in them that no man, no boy, no male can take away. That is very, very important. Very, very important. Build that young lady's self-esteem. It is not saying that boys don't have the same need, because they do. I used to tell my son, like, when you make a decision and you get to a point when you dating a young lady and you deciding if you're going to have sex, we always feel like we want to tell the girls, stay a virgin, keep your virginity. Don't give yourself up to nobody. These old boys, that's all they want. That's all they want. And true enough, as they grow and they learn, and boys and men tend to be more physical, but we teach them not to give yourself up, not to, protect yourself, because that's all they want. I used to tell my son the same thing, like, why would this young lady understand and know, make sure she is worthy? Why is she worthy of you? Like, make sure anybody you choose to lay down with, anybody you choose to be with, make sure she is worthy of you. It's not just about the guys being worthy of the girls. We have to build that self-esteem, because a lot of times we get lost as adults because we didn't get it when we were younger. We didn't get it when we were younger. So you get to a point where you learn better and you do better. As you learn better, you're expected to do better. And in the process of doing better, she didn't play. No, I'm sorry, I'm reading some of the comments. When you learn better, you do better. And counseling is one of those things that help you to learn better. So loss, y'all. We're talking about loss. First thing we talked about was losing yourself and learning how to get yourself back, or to how to just know who you are and gain self-worth and have that self-esteem that you need. So no one can come and mistreat you and use you and tell you things, not looking for someone else for validation. Not looking. And like I was saying, this thing of loss, the subject of loss, went so broad. It went so broad. And I was talking about a minute ago how suicide seems so prevalent now. It's like so much is going on, and so many people are losing the vision of who they are. And mental health is just a real thing. It's just a real thing. I'm going to share a tidbit of a story with y'all. And the only reason I'm going to share it is because she's already shared her story. my daughter, my baby love, my mini-me, Charisma. A part of what I was going through this week was because, I'm not going to lie, y'all, I was stressed. I was stressed because my daughter made a decision for herself. And she shared her story, so the people that know her, the people who are friends with her on here as well as me and the family, she shared her story that she went through a point in a place in life where she felt like taking her life. My child was suicidal. And she made a decision. Yes, sis, we are so proud of her. She made a decision. I asked her, would she come on with me tonight? And she was like, nah. She made a decision that she needed to go somewhere and get help for herself. She needed to go because she realized, if I don't get help, I'm going to not be here. And it's still kind of hard for me to say, y'all, because y'all know how much I love my babies. Y'all know how much I love my babies. I can't imagine living this life without Charisma and Rajan and Caden, my nephew. I can't imagine that. So when my daughter texted me, she sent me a text, and she said, I think I want to go and admit myself. And y'all don't understand how much I was praising God. Like, I got so excited. Now, this is over the time when I had COVID. It was a little bit after Christmas. She had a car accident, and she ended up staying with my younger sister, Anique, Caden's mom. Hey, Dex. And she went and she was staying over there so they wouldn't get sick. She had a car accident, and I immediately wanted to go to her, but I couldn't. And shout out to my sister, Anique. She handled things. A few days later, Charisma sent the text, and she was like, I need to go admit myself because I can't do this anymore. I can't do it on my own. And y'all, I was elated with joy because, just a little more backdrop, this is not the first time. She has been struggling with depression and anxiety. And anybody that knows Charisma knows that my baby be doing the thing. She graduated college. She works for the state of Georgia. She dances, she teaches. She's preparing to open up her own dance studio. And in the midst of all her greatness, she moved out, got her a place, bought her a car. In the midst of all her greatness, my child wanted to take her life. My child wanted to, hey, baby love, my child wanted to take her life. Mental illness is real. If somebody says, my heart, I'm having trouble with my heart, you take them to see a cardiologist. And you check the heart out. If someone has diabetes, if someone has cancer, mental illness is as real of a disease, it's as real of an illness as anything that you can see physically. It's as real as anything that you can see physically. So when someone tells you they are hurting, when someone tells you, and as parents, there's this meme I saw, and it was talking about black parents. And I can't even quite remember. I'm kind of drawing a blank, but y'all may have seen this. When you tell black parents, it'd be like, I'm tired. What you tired for? You don't do nothing. Something like that it was saying. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. We don't take it as serious as we should. And I'm not saying other races do, but I think the response to it. In the black community, we felt like punishment and giving our kids whoopings and taking out of context, spare the rod, spoil the child. You know, take that how you want. But understand, I feel like in the time of slavery, that's how we were kept in line. That's how we were checked. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you got whipped. If you don't act the way you're supposed to act, you got whipped. If you try to run, they break you down and beat you down by whipping you. Check on the strong, check on the funny one, check on the quiet ones, check on the loud. My point, we can all struggle. That's right, Claudette. That's right, sis. We can all struggle. We can all struggle. So, in the black community, we tend to take those things as that's just how we do. That's just what we do. When you learn better, you do better. Communication, talking to our children, understanding that they have feelings and emotions as well as we do as adults. Just because we're adults does not mean that our feelings supersede. But my child, y'all, was dealing with some mental health issues in the midst of her greatness. I am her number one fan. I love my baby to death. I'm so proud of her. Like I said, sometimes I live vicariously through her, because that chick be dancing and getting it. And I used to could dance and stuff, but I can't never do it like Charisma do it. This heifer got me pole dancing, and I be in pole class looking at her like. But I was so proud of her. But understand, in the midst of everything, she's hurting and she's sad. And she has times and moments that those things she can't control. And I had to realize and understand, we have to understand, it's not being lazy. It's not where you just don't want to do. Because I see her drive. I see her move. I see her hustle. She her mama's child. I see that. So when those moments come and she's down, I have to look and say, you know what? Where can I be supportive? Where can I help? And if I don't know, because there were times I did not know. I'm not going to lie to y'all. There were times when we went toe to toe. I'm like, oh, you want to buck up? You wanted this? You wanted that? Okay, this is what we going to do. We grown. Let's do it. We never fought physically. But it was my lack of understanding. Hey, Randy. It was my lack of understanding that mental health is real. Mental illness is real. Excuse me. Mental downfalls, mental breakdowns are real. So when you see somebody that is struggling, try to understand why they're struggling before you judge. Because there are people, I truly believe, that still could be or should be here. And I'm not saying that it is the other person's fault. What I'm saying is we have to recognize the best we can those issues and those things when we see them. And when we don't, it could be detrimental to someone's life. So she made a decision, y'all, to go and check herself into the mental hospital. And when she was there, man, when I say rough, I don't know of a harder time in my life than that week. Waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for her to call. And we were able to call her. But just waiting, the waiting. But I was so grateful to God. I was so grateful. And I was so proud of Charisma that she made the decision to save her own life. She made the decision to save her own life. And in that process, I started noticing, saying, you know how when something happens, you notice it more? Like, if you say, oh, I like this car, then you notice you start seeing them more, and you start seeing them more. It's like, oh, I'm noticing that. But noticing and paying attention and being able to be aware is so very important. So let me say this to the people, whoever you are, that may be struggling. It may feel like you don't want to be here anymore. It may feel like taking your own life is the better way. You are loved. You are needed for you. So the first thing people want to say is, you're going to leave behind your family. You don't want to do that. You're going to leave people behind. You want to leave people behind sad. What we have to realize is, it's not about us. And what you have to realize, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about you. You first have to love you. I can tell my child all day how great she is. And I do. I tell her all the time. I see her sometime, I be like, hey, cutie, looking like your mama. But I can tell her that all day. But unless she feels it, unless she knows it, it's not going to mean anything. It's not going to mean anything. So if you're feeling like you're not good enough, if you're feeling like you don't know where to go and what to do, first thing I'm going to say, please, 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 please reach out to me. Because we have some resources now. Because of my baby, we know some things. We know where to go. I heard her on the phone. Listen, I was taking her to her group meeting the other morning. And the whole time we riding, this chick on the phone with another friend telling them about the program. When to go check in, who to ask for, how she was so proud of them, how it's the best thing that they could ever do for themselves. And I was so, so proud again in that moment, because in the midst of her hurting herself, she was helping somebody else. That thing right there. We are here for each other. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you talk about mind your business. And yes, there's a level of privacy that we should have. We should have a level of privacy with our relationships and in our household. I get that. But I guarantee, this ain't no guess. This ain't no I think. I guarantee somebody is going through a time. Somebody needs someone to say, hey, I'm here for you. There is somebody that is searching for help. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. I'm not worried about nosy and who in my business and being in that business and being... Listen, that young lady, the Miss America, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what her title was. It doesn't matter, because baby girl is gone. She took her life at 30. When we looked at her, she was gorgeous. She had one of the more stellar positions. Like, people looked at her for her talents and her beauty and all of that. And this baby took her life. She took her life. She was 30, I believe. Please, please, please understand that when someone is acting out of character, when someone is acting mean and aggressive or this or that, it's not necessary for you to buck back up. It's not necessary for you to be like, oh, you ain't going to talk to me like that, or you not going to this and you not going to that. That's not necessary. What is necessary is for you to sit back, and if you can't talk to them at the moment to find out why they're being that way, maybe find someone who can tell you. And in some type of way, thank you much. I wonder why. She said you look cute. She did my hair, y'all. She tried to be funny. Find a way to be there for them and help them. Like, again, I'm going to tell you, I used to be a fighter. You look at me a certain way, oh, it was on. But I've learned now that there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why people act the way they do. And it's not necessary for us to always jump and buck up. People are losing themselves and taking their lives because one person, The one person that may have could have helped them did not. I'm going to tell y'all another story real quick, and then we go get off because it's an hour. Tried to do 30 minutes, but I knew tonight wasn't going to go that way. And tonight, I seemed to kind of ramble a little bit because this was a hard subject. I was really kind of trying to get to the point, y'all. But I need us to understand loss in so many different aspects. So many different. And we may have to do this one again. But I'm going to tell you a story. When my daughter was at the hospital, she called and she was upset. A new young lady came in there and she said at first they kind of hit it off. They got along fine. And then for whatever reason, the girl started acting funny. And she was trying to pick a fight with everybody. I'm kind of paraphrasing. I hope I don't get it quite right, but I hope y'all get the point. So this girl was picking fights with everybody. And for whatever reason, she was coming at Charisma. She was having a problem with Charisma. And Charisma in response was like, I'm cool, I'm good, but if she come up in my face, if she put her hands on me, it's going to be on. It's going to be on. And I said to Charisma, that is not why you are there. Do not allow the devil to throw your focus. Do not allow outside influences to throw your focus. But that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is the young lady, I told Charisma, after she calmed down, because I get it, she was dealing with her own stuff. She was there for her purpose. And here comes somebody want to fight in the hospital? Come on. Hey, Finley. So the girl was coming at her, wanted to fight her. They had to hold the girl back and all of this stuff and pull Charisma, and she went to her room and talking with the nurse or whatever. And in the midst of talking to Charisma and getting her to calm down and getting her to understand and see, you there for you. Let's focus on you, right? The thought came to me, in the midst of praying for my daughter and her protection in there so she could get what she needs, I told Charisma, let's pray for this girl. Let's pray for this girl because she's reacting in that way for a reason. She could be dealing with abandonment issues. She could be dealing with some kind of abuse or neglect. Thank you, sis. Thank you. She could be dealing with some kind of abuse or neglect. The reason we don't know why she's in there. And I told Charisma, you could be the only person who is advocating and speaking up for her. You could be the only person that is commissioning God for this girl, going in prayer for this girl. That could be a part of the reason of why you're there. In the midst of getting help for herself, she can help somebody else. This girl was combative. She was just trying to come at people. But my concern was she coming at my child. And Charisma's thing was, she coming at me. But I told Charisma, let's stop and pray for this girl. Let's call her name out to the Lord and ask him to help her. Because whatever reason, she is there. And if I got it correct, y'all, and Charisma may have to correct me, I do believe that was the girl she was talking to the other day on the phone, encouraging her to move more into the program to get help for herself. So my point with all of that is what I'm saying is just because people don't react the way we think they should does not mean that we have to respond in a negative way to them, because we never know what they're going through. You never know what will get. Okay, she said it was the same girl. In the midst of the girl that wanted to fight her, now she's helping her. Because am I my brother's keeper? Yes, the hell I am. If we think we walking around on this earth for ourselves, does not mean don't take care of yourself. Again, get counseling that will help you to understand who you are, understand why you're the way you are, and move in your greatness and get better for yourself. Because when you get better for yourself, you can function better in your relationships, whether they be romantic relationships, with your siblings, with your parents, all of those things. If we don't better ourselves, we're going to leave this earth the same mess we came with. We have to get better. We have to get better. My sister posted the National Suicide Prevention number. There's a National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. She posted. It's free and confidential support. Please, 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 if you feel like you want to take your life, there is help. If you feel like there's such a loss, there is help. We don't want to lose you. Whether I know you or not, I guarantee you there's somebody in your life that needs you. You are the person that needs you. You are the person that needs you. Love on yourself. Y'all, I want to drag this thing, but I know I can't. I know I'm going to have to get off. But please, please, please. Hey, Chanel. Please, please, please. Chanel, call me. Nelly, call me, please. Inbox me if you lost my number, if you don't have it anymore. But please call me, Nelly. Please, get help. Call me. Inbox me. Whatever. If you in Georgia, if you in the Atlanta area, Charisma can get you some information to get you where you need to be. Because you are great. You're just not seeing your greatness. We were created by a perfect being. God, our infinite perfection. We were created in his image. And there's some things that take us off that path, and we don't realize how great we really are. So please understand your greatness. Know that you are loved. Know that you are special. Know that you are needed. Love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, let's get to that point. Let's get to that point. I got to get off, y'all, because I can drag this thing out, and I don't want to do that. But the number is there. The number is there. It will be posted there. And I'm going to find a way to pin it. I'm going to find a way to pin it up and to put that number there. I love y'all. I will see y'all next week. Keep sharing. Keep posting. Keep inboxing me. And hey, y'all, let's prepare to come together. Hey, for that 50th and celebrate. If you like to come out and celebrate, then you can call me. Because I would love to. I would love to spend time with everybody. Because, that's what we do. Because Claudia said, just to let you know, you're not rambling. You're doing great. Thanks, sis. That is when I say my sister is my #1 cheerleader, y'all, that is my cheerleader right there. I appreciate her so much. I appreciate her so much. She herself has come through a struggle. And sis, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Have a good weekend. Call me, inbox me, whatever, and we'll communicate, we'll talk, and we'll keep loving on each other. See y'all next week, next Friday. All right. Good night.